speech. Please help me welcome Mary Kay Williams.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests, but especially dear Peter. Peter is, like many of us, has moved into one of the advanced manuals called storytelling. I have that manual, but I have to tell you with consternation, I haven't done the speech yet.
It's fun.
I believe that after hearing your speech. I shied away from it because I was a bit timid with telling a folk tale. After hearing your speech, I won't be so timid, and that will probably be my very next speech because I'm braver now after hearing you. Her assignment was to use her voice and imagery to project the meaning, emotion, and action of the story. If necessary, she was to ask her audience to pretend to be any age that she designated we should be. Well, her story was of interest to really any age group. I certainly found myself captivated by what she had to say and was wondering, okay, well, what's going to happen next? Where are we going next with it? She was very relaxed and informal, even to the tune of not having shoes on. I don't know if you all noticed that she didn't have her shoes on. But it was a very cozy, welcoming environment in which to share a folk tale. I thought that worked well for you tonight, Peter. And of course, I love not wearing shoes either, but I guess I have shoes on this time. One of the things that I really enjoy about your presentations is your command of the English language and the articulation. You are just so crisp with your words. And many of us don't have that ability, or I guess we all have that ability. It's just often we don't really use the articulation and the diction that you always do. So I really admire that in you, and it is a good role model for us to try to remember to be more articulate with our words. Your goal was also to use minimum characters, which I thought you did. You had the 4 children and the king. As you moved into the story, you became much more comfortable in being more vocal and animated using the dialogue. At first, you kind of held back a little bit, and I think you were just kind of getting your feet wet and getting ready to get your bearings a little bit. But once you got going, you were much more inflected with your comments, and especially in the dialogue. One thing that I would suggest perhaps that you do is consider maybe not just leaning on the lectern the whole time. That's fine to start with, but maybe move out, and as you are expressing the dialogue, maybe also be a little more animated with what you're doing as well, and that would help further bring to life your characters. So I thought it was a great speech, and I have to say I'm braver now. Thank you, and I'll be looking forward to your next speech.
Evaluating Mark Thompson's speech, please help me welcome Eileen Sarah.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and our guest, especially Mark.
Thank you.
Hiding.
Mark's objectives tonight were to give us a presentation where he communicates a vision and a mission and convince the audience to help achieve them. And his vision was very clear. Why is leadership so hard? How can we develop leadership skills? And his mission was to provide us with a framework to be able to develop those skills. And I thought this handout was excellent. It was an excellent way to bring us in and almost force us to pay attention and take notes so that we could write down what goes with each of these letters. I thought that was very effective. I'm not sure that you necessarily got the buy-in at the very beginning. I think it was kind of assumed that we all wanted to be better leaders, but maybe if you gave us some examples of in our family, in our work environment and organizations we belong in. Areas that we can think about, hey, I haven't stepped up to that opportunity and maybe this is why I haven't. So I think if you'd start out with making sure that we all had something in our mind of how we could use this, that might have been a little more effective. But I thought it was excellent once you started, you picked on different people for your reinvention, so that we're all going to remember that, reinventing ourselves. What's our hobby? What can we do to improve ourselves? And I liked your phrase where you said, if you stop learning, you stop leading. And I think there's a lot of people that get in that rut, and it's just the same old thing, and then you're not leading anymore. So I thought that was very effective. The movies that you brought in, the Spartacus movie and the Gandhi movie, again, made the points with your value relationships and embrace the values of leadership. I thought those were very effective and impactful. You asked me to see if I thought you were too fast, and while you kept moving and you were speaking quickly, I was still able to take notes and make your points, so I don't think you were too fast. And I think in a way it kept our interest and kept us going as far as making the points and knowing that we were keeping up with you. So I thought that was very effective. I like that you gave us a framework, and it is true. So many times we think, oh, I can't do that, or I'm afraid I'm going to fail. And I think if we take these points to heart, that we will actually be better leaders. And I thank you for sharing that with us tonight.